Okay, so the basic things I'm going to be talking about today on the training on MindFiBot is basically the questions I do get often, and also how you can navigate it, right? The first question, which is what I want to show you guys how to do it, is how to set an alert. I've done, even in the last training, I did an example there, but I don't know why people don't go through the YouTube video. Maybe because I showed how to set the alert towards the end of the um training. So we're going to start with it today, how to set an alert. Meanwhile, how you can set an alert on a laptop, right? On a laptop first. That if you're using it on a laptop, that means on TradingView web page, not TradingView app. So what you do, you double click on either the buy or sell. For example, this is BTC, right? So you double click on either buy or sell, and then you click on this add alert on MindFiBot. So when you add alert on MindFiBot, you can see any alert function call. So when you click on that, you can see go long and go short. So go long simply means when it sees a buy signal on the time frame you're putting. So this same as charts 5 minutes. If I want to take it back to maybe 15 minutes, I put 15 minutes. If I want daily, I put daily. If I want hours, I can put 2 hours chart. If I want to put 4 hours, I can put 4 hours. If I want to put days, I can put 1 day chart. If I want to put minutes, I can put 1 minute chart. If I want to put 5 minutes, I can put 5 minute charts. So depending on the timing you put at the go long, what it simply means is when there's a buy alert on BTC buy, it's going to alert me if I create this only once, right? This is only once. So if you want it to be reminding you after the alert by minute, you can put per minute. If you want it to be reminding you per bar, meaning per one, each candlestick that's created on 5 minutes, you can put per bar. If you want it to be reminding you per bar close, meaning each bar that open and close, it will remind you there's an alert buy, it will do that. You understand? So this is how you create the alert for buy. So when I click create here, it's just going to create the buy. For sell also, what you do is go short, right? You open the go short. So you put go short, same time frame and all of that, same triggers, the triggers you want. And when you create, when there's a sell alert on BTC, it's gonna alert me. That is how you put notification on the MindFi bot. Now, if you're using the app, because if the app maybe you're using on the phone or on the tablet, you cannot write buy or sell. So how do you go about it? What you do is you get any of the tools. For example, you can use a horizontal line like this horizontal line that I put here. So when you get that, then you right click on it. So when you right click on it, you put add alert on horizontal line. It's gonna work on the phone. So when you come there on the phone, add alert on horizontal line, you're going to change the conditions. Now you change the condition by clicking on the horizontal line here. Right under condition, you click on horizontal line, then you change it to MindFiBot. So when you change it to MindFiBot, just leave the 50 mA, change it to MindFiBot. Then also you change this crossing here, right? You change this crossing, right? So when you do that, when you create a alert, anytime it gives, any indication, it's going to alert you. You understand? So you make sure that under this 50 EMA, you change it to either buy or sell. So if you want the buy signal, immediately you put buy ATR signal. When a buy alert comes, it will alert you. When you put sell ATR signal, when a sell alert comes, it will alert you. So this is how you create on phones or on tablets, because you cannot right click on the app, right? So this is very important because I get these questions all the time. So this is how you create alert on the MindFi bot. Very important. So let's proceed. Now, what are the other tools you can use in taking your trades, because apart from how to create alerts, the second questions that I do get is I don't know where to put my TP, I don't know where to put my stop loss. I mean, in the last training I went over that as well. So, but I'm going to go over that right now too. There are two ways in the manual that is being sent to all those that have the MindFi bots. There are two ways you can set stop loss. Let's start with setting stop loss, meaning how to limit your losses in case it goes against the trade that you're putting. So for example, if you have this buy here, there are three ways you can set your stop loss. First, you can either set your stop loss just below the signal, which is on the buy here. That is number one. You can do that by setting your stop loss there. Number two, you can set your stop loss using structures as well, meaning, okay, if this buy here, what is the last structure? This low, right? So you can set your stop loss below that low right here. That's the second way. The third way now is to use pips wise. For example, you want to risk just 30 pips on that trade. So you enter the trade. For example, if you enter the trade here, you make sure your stop loss is just 30 pips from your entry, if that is your entry. You understand? So these are three ways you can set stop loss, either below the signals or for a buy and above the signal for a sell, or below the swing low, right, for a buy and above the swing here, the lower high for a sell, right? You can do that. So, but the best way to set the signal is to set it above the structures. If you're buying, you put your signal below the the higher low. If you're selling, you put your signal above the lower high. That is the best possible way for you to put your stop loss, especially if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, that is how you should do it if you're a beginner. So pay attention. If you're a beginner, just use structures as your stop loss, right? You put your stop loss below the higher low if you're buying and above the lower high if you're selling, right? That is for stop loss. Now for target, when you're trading or buying or you're in profits, how do you take partials or how do you take profit? You take profit by targeting the next structures as well. So for this example here, you can see this was where you buy. So if you bought here, if you bought BTC here on this buy signal that came out, where should be your first target? The next high. So this next high should be your first target, meaning from here, you should either take profit or break even, right? That would be your TP1, right? So if you're selling, for example, this sell here, right, that it gave, this sell here. So if you're selling, your first target should be this low, right? It should be this low here. Your first take profit should be that low. So your first take profit can be this low, right? Your second take profit can be the next low. So that is how you look for targets. I mean, you cannot, the bot cannot give you TP and stop loss because of compliance issue. We're not going to put that at all, right? Because of compliance issue. But if you're a trader, that is why it is a bot for traders. It is not a bot for people that don't know how to trade. It's a bot for people that know how to trade and want to trade. If you don't want to trade and you don't know how to trade, this is not a bot for you, right? And you can see people have been making so much money with it because of how they have been using it. They understand how to use it. So you need to know how to use it, right? You cannot buy something and decide not to know how to use it. Nobody will force you to know how to use it. You spent your money to buy something, then spend some time also to learn how to use it, right? Because when you know how to use this boat, every week you should be making good return from your portfolio. Now let me open gold. That is on BTC. It's really working very good on BTC, especially on 5 minutes, right? So now this is good. Let's take, for example, gold on Friday, right? So Friday started from, let me put where Friday started from. Yeah. Okay, Friday started from here, right? So we can see how many trades it gave on 5 minutes on Friday, right? First, we had that sell, we had this buy, we had this sell, we had this buy, another sell, another buy, another sell, and the last buy. So using the first sell it gave right here, This is the first sell it gave. So the sell came out here. So if you enter this trade when it gave the first sell, where would be your first target? First, where would be your stop loss? Okay, let me use this. So you entered the sell there, you have your stop loss above that high, right? So if you have your stop loss above that high, that is 47 pips, right? Above this high, 47 pips. So where would be your first target? You'll be targeting the next low. Where's this too? Okay, you'll be targeting the first low, right? So you can either be targeting here, or you'll be targeting here, any low you want to target, but the first low should be your first target, right? Because if that low reacts to it, if it doesn't break, right? If that low doesn't break, you see the reaction. For example, you can see those that did not take profit from this first sell here on Friday. Those that did not take profit here and they're waiting for this level will end up at break even, right? They'll end up at break even. So very important. Now, if you open your sell there and put your stop loss above that high, then you target the first low, which is this, right? So on that first low, you're already out of the trade. And you can see the stop loss is 47 pips, which is good. So, but if you want to do above the sell, which is 30 pips, which is also good. I mean, with gold, especially if you're a newbie, your stop loss should be around 50 to 100 pips if you are a newbie. But if you are a professional, you have many experience, you can put your stop loss even using the candlestick because you have experience and know how each candlestick form. So now this is the first sell on Friday. Now the next signal it gave was this buy here, right? It was this buy. So when you open that buy, let's get our tool. So the buy came out here, right? The buy came out here. So where will your stop loss be ideally if you want to take it below that low? You can see almost 78 pips. Almost 78 pips. So for me, I might not take this trade. Why? Because from this trade to the target, which will be this high here, right? This is my first target, is 32 pips. That's 32 pips. And my stop loss is 78. So the risk to reward doesn't make sense. So this kind of risk to reward, I won't take the trade. I'll just ignore it. That is why it is not all trades you're going to take. You only take the trades that make sense, right? Even though if you had take this risk, okay, take this buy, you put your stop loss 78 and your first target was that high, yeah, it hit your target, you made money, 32 pips profit, right? So, but when you look at what you are risking to what you are making, it doesn't make business sense, right? So, in situations like this, trades like this, I might just ignore it, right? Or what you can do is to take it, you have your stop loss 78 pips. When it hit the first target, you just break even your trade, right? Because they're high probability this trade would have gone to this level, right? The high probability this trade would have gone to this level, which now if you're risking 78 pips to make 200 pips, it now makes business sense. You understand? So it now makes business sense. So you can now take it like that. Someone is asking what time frame. Please, you should look at the time frame I am. It's on 5 minutes. I mean, it's on 5 minutes. So if you are targeting that upward movement, fine and good. When you're profit, you can now break even your trade and allow it to run. If it hits your break even, fine and good. You wait for the next trade. Now that was the second signal on Friday, which here would have been the first target where you break even and allow it to run. Now the second trade that came was this sell. Now this was the first loss of Friday, where you put that your entry is on this candle, meaning you sell here, right? You sell here and you have where your first target would be this low, since that is the uh, nearest structure. So your target would be that low and your stop loss will be above that high if you're taking that high. So you can see you have almost 100 and something pips and your first target is just 91 pips. So this also brings a question of, is this a trade I want to take? Because does it make business sense or not? Right? It doesn't make business sense. So for some professionals, they won't take it. For some risk takers, they will take it, right? So, but immediately this sell occur and you open a position, if you're an experienced trader, you already know the next candlestick is showing that sellers are not interested, because this bullish engulfing simply means that sellers are out of the game. They are not interested. So instead of you to wait for you to go and hit your stop loss 100 and something pips, just take your loss, right? Just close it at 46 pips and wait for the next signal, right? So this is how you approach. So you can see we have one winning trades, right? We have this one winning trade. We have this BE, and we have this stop loss. So we're just going to assume this hits stop loss. Let's just assume it hits stop loss, right? So now we have the next signal on Friday, which came around this level here, right? So we're gonna have our buy. So we put our buy came out here, right? So it came out here, and we have our stop loss below that structure, which is around 78 pips. So where will we target? We target that high, that zone here, right? We target that zone as our take profit. So if you target that zone as your take profit, either the beginning or the end, anywhere you target, it's fine, right? So now you have another trade, a winning trade. So this give you 81 pips, right? This gave you 81 pips. Now remember, you cannot catch all of these trades because probably this is Asia session. So most of you were even, if you're in West Africa or Middle East, probably even sleeping around that time. So you miss all this setup, right? So, but we had another trade after this that gave it 1 pips. We have another sell trade that occurred here, right? So I'm doing this bit by bit so that you know how you can approach each trade. You know where you're entering, where your target is, and where your stop loss is. So for this trade here, this is a trade that makes good business sense, right? Because our stop loss is less than 100 pips, which is okay, right? So if you have your stop loss above that high, that is 62 pips, right? Your first target will be this zone here, right? This zone here, this support zone here. So if you're targeting the wicks, for example, let's say the wicks down here, if you're targeting the wicks down here, that is approximately how many pips? 101 pips. Now, this is the first trade, second trade, third trade, fourth trade, and this is the fifth trade now, right? So this you made money, you're out. Now the next signal came out, buy, right? We had a buy here. This buy came out immediately after this level here, right? So your stop loss is below the structure, which is here. And where will be your first target? This will be your first target, this level here, because that is the nearest high. And then you can now exit to, other levels above, maybe this level here, right? So, but this trade, you entered at this level, it went a little bit in profit. Then it touched this zone here and started falling. So immediately it touched that zone, it's already a target. You have to know that it's either you break even your trade or you take profit, right? So, but because you want it to make business sense, what you're reaching to what you want to make, you can just break even the trade. If you hit your break even, fine and good. So for me, this would be a break even trade if I have took it, right? To be a break even trade for me, right? So and now the third signal that came, no, not the third signal. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the seventh signal that came on Friday is a sell, right? So we take this sell here. This sell came out around this level. Now, where do we have our stop loss? Above that high or above the sell, right? So we're going to use above the high. We're going to use above the high because of newbies. If you're new, just use above the high before you understand how the pips and how momentum and volume works, right? It's very important because ideally me, I'll put my stop loss anytime I'm trading gold, especially if it's on 5 minutes. I don't care where the high is. I don't care where the wicks are. Where my entry is, I just put 50 pip stop loss. From my entry, I put 50 pips stop loss. That is my discipline. You don't have to follow me because I might be wrong structurally sometimes. For example, here, you can see the stop loss is like 100 and something. So I would have just put my stop loss 50 pips around here. That's it. And I'll hit my stop loss. So you don't have to like follow how I put my stop loss. Let's use the mechanical way of putting stop loss, which is usually above the highs and lows. Right. So this cell would have entered this cell at the close of this candle. So the sell will be around here. So we enter the sell around here. Where will be our first target? We have this low, this extended low here, which will be our first target. And that is where price tap in. That is where price tap in before it started moving higher. So immediately price drop into that level, you should start taking profit. You understand? So now we have one winning trade, right? One BE, one loss, another win, another win, another BE, right? So far on Friday, using the bot is just one loss we had so far, following the correct way to use the MindFi bot. Now let's look at the last trade, which I actually caught this trade. It was a very nice trade, right? So this buy, it came out here. Now, here we had the buy at this level. And using stop loss highs and lows, it will be below here. So you have around 105 pips stop loss, right? Me using my 50 pips, I have my stop loss around here, which is 50 pips, right? So newbies use below the high or low. So here you have around 105 stop loss. Now, where will be your first target after this buy? Here will be your first target. This level will be your first target. This level will be your second target, right? And then you can keep extending. Let's find another resistance up there. Have another resistance here, which can be your third target. So, and remember, all these trades were on Friday, starting from Asia session all the way to New York session. So from the entry to the third target, that is 288 pips on Friday, right? So New York is usually the most market with the highest volume. New York market has the highest volume. So since it has the highest volume, it will definitely move gold more during New York time, right? And that is why this was Asia. I think I have that stuff. Yeah, this, yeah, that I use just to know my session. So the green is Asia, the yellow is London, the blue is New York, and this yellow is London close, right? So you can see New York, which is the blue, is the one that had the most, right? So that is how you approach the MindFi bot. Now let's calculate on Friday only how many pips it gave if you were on your seat trading using the MindFi bot for the whole 24 hours on Friday. First, you made how many pips here? 72 pips. I'm just gonna write this. Sorry, I meant to keep this meeting very short. So first pip here, we have plus 75, right? So we're just gonna put it. So here we have, okay, not 75, 72 pips. The second one was break-even trade, right? The third one, we lose how many pips? 118 pips. So we're gonna put 118. The second one, 118. So it's gonna be minus 118 pips. This is on Friday only, remember, this is on Friday. So the third one, we made 81 pips. The third one, 81 pips. Gonna be plus 81 pips. That's the third one. The third one, 81 pips. That's the third winning trade. Now the fourth winning trade, 111 pips. Third winning trade, 111 pips. And the fourth one also, we're just going to assume BE, even though it hit the first target, which is this high. So we're just going to assume it also hit break even. That's what we're going to assume. This is 110, 111. I don't know why it's slow. Okay, so this we're gonna assume it hit break even. We're gonna take this the next trade. It hits 84 pips, right? 84 pips plus 84 pips. And the last one, 288 pips. The last one went 288 pips. And this one is not 84. It's okay. Yeah, I'm correct. 84 pips. So I will have the last one that did, let's see, 288 pips. Okay. So let's calculate all, and averagely on Friday only, how much profit in pips did we make? So averagely, we made 518 if you minus the loss that we took, which is 118 pips. So averagely on Friday only, the MindFiBot following the signal and the correct way to trade it, using it, you made 518 pips. So guys, what are you saying? So you need to understand how to use these bots. I mean, if you use it correctly, there's no how you take 10 trades and lose all the whole 10 trades. It's not possible. It's not possible. So understand how to use it. This video that I've recorded now, we're going to upload it on YouTube and also share it in the group so that you understand how to use the bot correctly. Do not just see buy because you see buy and you just enter the trade and go about your daily. No. When you put a buy, make sure you put your target and you put your stop loss as well, starting from your first target, second target, third target. So what you can do, you can divide your lot size into three, right? Into three. So one position you close at first target, one position you close at second target, one position you close at third target. But immediately the price hits the first target, ensure that your position is on break even in case market turn around. Very, very important. You understand? So this is Friday only. So imagine if we're going to go over all of them, right? So this is how you use the bot. So if you have any question, you can ask on the chat box or on the Q&A. This is on 5 minutes. If you're day trading, you can just use 5 minutes. You can see I entered all this position without checking what is happening on anywhere. That is why there's controversy. Some traders will say look at higher time frames. Some traders will say look at lower time frames. Some traders will say look at 2 time frames. Some traders will say look at 1 time frame. But to be honest, paying attention to what is happening in front of you pays the most if you're seated. So if you're looking at 1 time frame, trade that time frame, without losing focus. Just trade that time frame without losing focus. Very important. So getting into this week, you can decide depending on where your time frame is or where you have time. You can decide to trade London only and New York, right? You can decide to trade New York only, right? You can decide to trade London closing, which is the PM session. That is like around 4 p.m. London time. These are one of the good times, and you can decide to trade Asia session starting from 4 a.m. London time. That is when the volume of Asia used to peak. So these are ways that you can use these bots and profit from it. Can you link your trading view with your broker to take the trades directly? I don't know. You can try it. If you have the indicator already on your platform, I don't know. Maybe there's a way you can instruct your trading view to do that for you. I'm not sure, but the bot doesn't trade for you. But I did because I know TradingView allows you to like use some brokers. So maybe if you log in with your broker, there's a way you can program it and instruct it to take trade for you. I honestly don't know, but you can try it and see. So guys, yeah, this is it, and we're getting into a new week. Utilize these bots. You don't have to trade every day. If you can get this type of Friday 2 times in a week, okay, you can see now the alert I put on BTC, it has showed. So we come here. So you can see now this sell is not yet fully confirmed because this candle needs to close. Imagine seeing the alert now. That is why some people will say they see the alert and they come, they do not see anything. Why? Because the way I saw this alert now and this candle is here, maybe this candle now close up. So if you close bullish, this sell will disappear. So for the sell to remain valid, this candle needs to close like this as a sell, meaning in the next 130, yeah, 1 minute 30 seconds. 1 minute 30 seconds when this candle closes. If it closes like this sell is valid. That is what it means. You understand? So this is how to use the bot, guys. And yeah, I took a sell also. I took this sell today on BTC, right? Think see it's one of I think this is the account. It's on the laptop, yeah. The account I started with 46 pounds. I'm always trading it because when I'm bored. Yeah, you can see the sell there. And I made 88 pounds. This is almost $100. Just this evening, you can see the time, you can see the date, you can see the lot size, right? So I traded that sell on BTC today, which is this sell here. This sell here. So that is how we trade with it. That is how we approach the market. And I wish you all the best. Someone said I intend to use the bots. Okay, let me. Okay, someone said I intend to use the bot to trade crypto. Is there any video showing you how to use it for crypto trades? I mean, we just did BTC here. So BTC is a crypto. So any coin you want to trade, you just go and look for the coins that you want to trade. For example, let's open BNB. Wow, BNB is 1,000. God, this thing was like less than $10, like 2020. So for example, we have BNB here, 5 minutes. You can see it gave, this is today, right? Sunday. Earlier today, it gave sell here. If you took this sell, you made money, right? All the way down here. So this sell gave you almost three entries, three targets. Target one, profit, right? Target two, profit, and this target three, right? So we're supposed to have exited when it gave this buy, here. So you exit. So you give another sell here, you take the sell here, and next target, that sell, first target will be here, which is that low, and second target will be that earlier target 3, right? So and it gave a buy here. So this buy short term, if you took this buy, right, the target is this high, so you're out of the target. If you took this buy here, right, the targets should be here or here. They're all levels. So you took this zone here, you should be out. And here's another sell. So I mean, we created this bot to relatively work on anything that has a chart. Even you're trading stock, you use it on stock. Let me open one of the stocks that I've been watching. Look at it on stock now. Look at where it gives buy. Look at the buy it gave on Wednesday. It gave this buy. Gave this buy. This stock, I'm only buying it. I'm not selling it. Because when you're trading stock, you're always betting on stocks on that company is gonna perform well. So when you're trading on stocks, you want to be bullish on it. You understand? So that means I only take buy signals while scalping it. So anything that has a chart, bring it on the MindFi bot. It's gonna give you watch what you want and you're gonna enjoy it. So yeah, I've created time to make this training very, very interesting. Is this being recorded? Yeah, it's being recorded. By God's grace, I'm going to upload it on YouTube in less than 24 hours. So any further question before I call it a day? I wanted to spend 30 minutes, but above 30 minutes now. You can just type on your Q&A. The time frame is it's 5 minutes. I've answered that question. So no more questions. You can type on the chat box or you can write on the Q&A. I'm gonna see your question. All right, in absence of questions, I'm gonna call it a day and wish you all the best. Have a profitable week ahead and goodbye.